For me, it was just a tremendous amount of gratitude for what we have. The fact that we get to live in this beautiful world and see it through each other's eyes. And um, I think just having experienced this through Ish's eyes, I've just further just realized what's actually important.
Hi, I'm Kristen Maldonado from Pop Culture Planet. It's so great to meet you guys. How are you doing today?
Good.
Great.
How
How
are
are
you doing?
you?
Good. I just finished binge watching this show, and oh my gosh, you guys were so incredible. I love how this story is like so heartfelt despite all the things that they're dealing with. Like it's really about like that love of, family and found family and sort of finding a new world through that. Which I thought was so beautiful. And I was wondering what you guys personally took away from your experience on Earth Abides.
Thank you for saying that. I mean, for me, it was just a tremendous amount of gratitude for what we have. The fact that we get to live in this beautiful world and see it through each other's eyes. And um, I think just having experienced this through Ish's eyes, I've just further just realized what's actually important,
Mhm.
and what really matters. And I'm so happy that you said that you felt like it was hopeful because that's exactly what I experienced when I
Excellent.
read the book and when I read the screenplay. I just said, I've never seen a more true post-apocalyptic show, and the fact that it ends the way it does is very special.
I got sent the script and I read it and I was frankly very moved by the story. I think we're conditioned in like a post-apocalyptic genre like this to be waiting for like a big baddie or a monster or a zombie or an alien. And instead, this is just like a really human story about, this group of people that is trying to survive and that they ultimately succeed because of the love they have for one another and the care that they have for themselves and for the environment. And I just think it's a fascinating question to ask. Like, if we got to do this and a small group of people survived, could we do it better? Could we treat each other better and just like lead from that place? And I'd not really seen that before. And I think in our culture and society where we see the opposite of that a lot, I think it's just really I was very moved by it when I read it.
One of the things that was so exciting to me, I keep on talking about the idea of stripping away the things that we deem important. And unfortunately, due to this virus, everything is stripped away and you're left with who you are at your core. One of my favorite moments on set was, sitting there looking in the mirror as a woman that is not a spring chicken, getting lines painted on her and age makeup painting on her and seeing something so absolutely beautiful in the mirror. And it's just, I hope that people see themselves. I hope that people fall in love with themselves. I hope that people discover themselves and release all that other stuff that actually is not going to get us moving forward. We need to be with each other. We need to open up and give and receive.
And that was actually one of the questions I was going to ask is, like this show takes place over like 50 years. So what was that like for you guys, like with the, makeup process, but also just like personally, like having to sort of like get into these different mindsets of like these ages that you guys ne aren't necessarily at.
Luckily, I had experienced a version of this on Vikings, where I basically played from 19 to 45. But I think the hardest thing with this show in specific was um, just remembering where we were in the story, because it was, not only have these characters experienced mental trauma, but they've, Ish in specific has experienced physical trauma. And at what point is this, before or after this specific attack? Is this before or after this specific birth? These were things that we had to constantly remind ourselves of where we were, in the show. So that was the most challenging for me. In some crazy stroke of luck or whatever it was, a lot of very big things in my personal life were happening as I was shooting the show. So when something very big happened to my son on the show, my first son was being born, and it was just like I had this well of emotion that I could draw from, and that was super super helpful.
Oh, I love that.
One of my favorite things about the time jumps and the living this life on screen were the kids.
Yeah.
It was just a joy to especially as a woman, walk around with that weight that you're holding in your belly. Then you actually meet this infant. Then you actually meet a 3 and 5 year old. Then you actually meet an 8, 9, and 10 year old. Then you actually meet a 17. It was just so wonderful to sort of live this life and create sort of this family and world. And it was just really fun. That sort of helped me because I was like, what age are you? I know where we are.
Yeah, exactly. So true.
Like one week, I swear we had babies, and then it was a wild ride.
Yeah.
But what was beautiful about it is it kind of felt like we were mad scientists, like dissecting our script and being like, okay, we're here now, we're here now, we're here. Okay, move this puzzle here. This now we're here. Okay, and it was just wonderful.
Your character kind of comes in and has sort of their own agenda and is maybe not doing the things that all these other people are doing. And so was that difficult to sort of like find that?
I think I knew right away that my purpose was basically to represent this other thing, right? Like the characters, as you said, are leading and surviving in one way. And I think I was Charlie's meant to represent this, the way that we see far too often in our society today. And so I really got to lean into that and to bump that idea up against this thing that everyone else is doing. And it's just it's a lot of fun when you get to do that. There's a lot of freedom in it. And to try to make somebody just like who's not a good person, when you try to make them charming is a lot of fun.
I was wondering if you had like a memorable scene that you got to bring to life over the course of the episodes that you were in.
Yeah, I had some really, really fun scenes. When you get to play a character like this, you kind of get to be a bit of a bulldozer and you get to just kind of, put forward hopefully this trick where you're getting the audience to be on your side for as long as they can until you see the shoe drop. But no, I mean, the actors on the show are just wonderful and so welcoming to me, and to kind of get to go toe to toe with Alex was like super, super fun. And then there was one scene, actually, I was just talking about it. There's a scene where I share a cigarette, out, I think it's in the 4th episode. And, that was a scene where a lot of times you're kind of told to like go faster, make it happen, move things along. And they really wanted the two of us to sit in that scene and sit in what was happening and all the subtext. And I think I saw in Jean's character this crack where if I drove a wedge in there, maybe we could get her to my side. And it was just like it was so much fun to, that was one scene in particular that was really, really fun. And I think indicative of the two sides of this world that we were playing in.
I wanted to switch gears for a second, because I know you're one of, our fan favorite Fieros of the past. And I was just wondering, like if you're excited for the Wicked movie and kind of what you hope that people kind of get to take away from, this world that you've had previously been a part of, and now it's kind of going to be able to be seen by people all over the world.
I'm so excited for the Wicked movie to premiere. I'm very fortunate that I got to be a part of the Les Mis film, and I think movie musicals are so special, and I think that anytime that there's one that's done at this scale, I think it's just amazing for the genre and amazing for theater. And so this story in particular, I did Wicked 15 years ago on Broadway, and so to see it kind of finally realized in this way with the people that are in it is just, it's amazing. And I can't wait to see it. I've not seen it yet. I got invited to a couple screenings and I couldn't go, so I'm actually dying to see it. But yeah, it's a really wonderful thing to be a small part of that history and to see it going on to, what it's about to go on to.
Oh, absolutely. And I love the Les Mis mention. That's another show that's one of my absolute favorites. And it's just so cool to be able to see, I feel like in the world of Broadway, anybody could take on a role and it changes, when someone's on stage, like one person different, and it's like completely a whole different project. And then to see it on screen and be like, wow, we've like encapsulated and like just like captured this moment is like so cool. Like you will forever be our Anjaris.
I'm like, wow, like, one day I'm gonna show that to like hope, my kids or something. Like, look what I did, right? It's like it's like very, very cool.
I mean, you guys together just had, this incredible bond of like, you're the only two people that we really get to meet. I feel like at the beginning where like you have to really rely on each other and you build all of this from the two of you. So what was it like building your connection?
It didn't take a lot of work, I'll tell you that. I mean, I felt like our connection was pretty instantaneous. And, Jessica is such a generous actress and a generous soul in general. And immediately, I think I speak for both of us when I say we both felt very safe and ready to take on this huge challenge together. And so much of this show relied on the chemistry between Ish and Emma, and thank God I had the amazing Jessica Francis Dukes to do it with.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that Ish and Emma, when they see each other, they see each other.
Yeah.
And it's very, very, there are no masks, there are no walls, it's just open. And I think in order to play that, you have to be that. And day one, Alex was just like this walking heart. He was just like, hey, it was just like this opening, welcoming experience. And so when you have an environment like that, and set was like that as well, you are able to just go there because you trust and you can fall and somebody's going to be right there. You're not going to hit the ground. And Alex never let me hit the ground, and I damn sure didn't let him hit the ground.
You could really see it. I thought you guys were incredible. Thank you so much for your time. Congratulations. I know people are really going to love this show.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
very
Kristen.
much.
That means the
Thank
world.
you.
Thank you so much.
Consider subscribing if you like this video and get even more entertainment news at popcultureplanet.net. See ya!